The most respected person in the room is not always the loudest. Sometimes, it is the person who says nothing, yet everyone feels their presence. Imagine walking into a room and nobody knows your name, nobody knows your story, nobody knows what you have achieved, but somehow, people can sense your confidence. That is the power of true respect. Not the respect you beg for. Not the respect you force. The respect you command through your character, your discipline, and your silence. Welcome to Stoic Ascension. If you are ready to build a stronger mind, master your emotions, and develop the kind of inner power that cannot be taken away from you, make sure to share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more powerful stoicism. Because today, we are talking about something every person wants but few people truly understand. How to command true respect without saying a word. The Stoics understood something powerful. You cannot control what people think about you. You cannot force people to admire you. But you can control the person you become. And when you transform yourself, respect becomes a natural result. The first lesson is this. Control yourself before trying to control how others see you. A person who cannot control their emotions is easy to manipulate. Someone insults them, they explode. Someone ignores them, they panic. Someone disagrees with them, they feel attacked. Their entire mood is controlled by the actions of other people. But a Stoic person is different. A Stoic understands that their power is not in controlling the world around them. Their power is controlling their response. Imagine two people receive the same criticism. The first person immediately reacts. They become angry. They start explaining themselves. They try to prove they are right. The second person listens calmly. They think. They decide whether the criticism has value. Then they respond with wisdom. Who looks stronger? The second person. Because self-control creates presence. There was once a man who worked in a company where everyone competed for attention. Every meeting was filled with people trying to impress the manager. They talked louder. They interrupted others. They always wanted to be noticed. But there was another employee who rarely spoke. He came prepared. He listened carefully. He completed his work. He never complained. At first, people thought he was invisible. But over time, something changed. When problems happened, people went to him. When decisions needed to be made, people asked for his opinion. Why? Because people began to recognize something. He did not need attention because he had value. That is the difference between seeking respect and becoming respectable. The second lesson. Do not chase approval. Build your character. Many people spend their lives trying to convince others that they matter. They show off. They seek validation. They constantly explain themselves. But the Stoics believed your actions should speak louder than your words. A strong person does not need to announce their strength. A successful person does not need to constantly prove success. A disciplined person does not need to tell everyone they are disciplined. Their lifestyle reveals it. Think about a mountain. A mountain does not scream to prove it is tall. It simply stands. Storms come. Rain falls. Winds attack. But the mountain remains. That is how your character should become. Stable. Unshaken. Strong. When you stop trying to convince everyone of your worth, something powerful happens. You start investing that energy into becoming better. The third lesson. Master the power of silence. Silence is often misunderstood. Some people think silence means weakness. But controlled silence is a sign of strength. A person who can stay silent when they are angry shows control. A person who can listen without interrupting shows confidence. A person who does not react to every provocation shows maturity. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius understood that your peace should not depend on the behavior of others. Someone can insult you. Someone can criticize you. Someone can misunderstand you, but you decide whether their words control your mind. There is a story about a wise man who was insulted by another person every day. People expected him to fight back. They expected anger. But he remained calm. Someone asked him, "Why do you allow this person to disrespect you?" The wise man replied, "If someone gives you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The person said, "The person who offered it." The wise man smiled and said, "Then I refuse to accept his anger." That is true power. Not because you cannot respond. Because you have the ability to respond, but you choose wisdom instead. The fourth lesson. Keep promises to yourself. The way you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. If you constantly break promises to yourself, your confidence weakens. You say you will wake up early, but you do not. You say you will work on your goals, but you delay. You say you will change, but you repeat the same habits. Every time this happens, you lose trust in yourself. And without self-trust, respect becomes difficult. But when you keep small promises to yourself, you build inner authority. Wake up when you say you will. Finish what you start. Practice discipline when nobody is watching. Because the person who can lead themselves can influence others. Respect begins privately before it becomes public. The fifth lesson. Do not explain yourself to everyone. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to make everyone understand them. They explain their choices. They defend every decision. They argue with every opinion. But not every person deserves access to your energy. Sometimes the strongest answer is simply continuing your path. If someone doubts you, let your results speak. If someone misunderstands you, let your consistency speak. If someone underestimates you, let your growth speak. A tree does not stop growing because someone says they do not like its branches. It keeps growing. Because growth does not require permission. Before you say a single word, people already receive a message from you. Your posture. Your energy. Your discipline. Your confidence. Your attitude. Everything communicates. A person who walks into a room with insecurity often tries to hide it with noise. They talk too much. They seek attention. They constantly look for approval. But a person who has built inner confidence does not need to perform. They are comfortable with themselves. There was a young man who always wanted people to respect him. Whenever he entered a room, he tried to impress everyone. He told stories about his achievements. He tried to make people laugh. He always wanted to be noticed. But the more he tried to gain respect, the less people respected him. One day, he met an older man known for his wisdom. The young man asked, "How do I make people respect me?" The older man replied, "Stop trying to convince people that you are valuable. Become valuable." That sentence changed his life. He stopped chasing attention. He started learning. He improved his skills. He focused on his purpose. Months later, people began approaching him differently. Not because he demanded respect. Because he developed qualities that naturally created respect. Remember this. Respect follows value. The seventh lesson. Become emotionally difficult to control. A person who can be easily triggered can be easily controlled. If someone can make you angry with a few words, they have power over you. If someone can destroy your confidence with one opinion, they have power over you. The Stoics trained their minds to become independent from external events. They understood. Someone else's opinion is outside your control. Someone else's behavior is outside your control. Someone else's choices are outside your control. But your reaction belongs to you. Imagine someone trying to start an argument with you. They expect anger. They expect a reaction. But instead, you remain calm. You look at the situation clearly. You choose your response. What happens? They lose control over you. Your calmness becomes your strength. A calm person in a chaotic situation becomes the person others look toward. That is leadership. The 8th lesson. Stop needing everyone to like you. One of the fastest ways to lose respect is trying too hard to be accepted. A person who changes their values every time they enter a different room becomes someone nobody can truly trust. Strong people have principles. They know what they stand for. They can listen to others without losing themselves. They can accept criticism without becoming weak. They can disagree without becoming disrespectful. The Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote about the importance of living according to reason rather than chasing the approval of the crowd. The crowd changes. Opinions change. Trends change. But your character is what remains. If you build your life around making everyone happy, you will always be controlled by everyone. But when you build your life around your values, you become free. The 9th lesson. Let your actions create your reputation. Your reputation is not built by what you say about yourself. It is built by what you repeatedly do. Anyone can talk about discipline. Anyone can talk about success. Anyone can talk about being different. But actions reveal the truth. A person who trains every day develops a different mindset. A person who studies every day develops a different level of knowledge. A person who controls their emotions develops a different kind of strength. Small actions repeated over time create a powerful identity. Imagine 2 people. One person says, "I want to become successful." The other person quietly works every day. No announcements. No excuses. No need for attention. Years later, the difference is obvious. The person who worked has evidence. The person who only talked has wishes. Respect belongs to the person who proves themselves through action. The 10th lesson. Protect your peace. Many people lose respect because they allow everything to disturb them. A comment ruins their day. A rejection destroys their confidence. A mistake makes them quit. But a Stoic understands that peace is something you protect. Your mind is your kingdom. Be careful what you allow inside. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every person deserves your attention. Sometimes winning means refusing to participate. A wise person does not fight every enemy. They choose battles that matter. They understand that energy is limited. So they invest it into growth, purpose, and becoming better. The 11th lesson. Be consistent when nobody is watching. True character is revealed in private. Anyone can appear disciplined when people are watching. Anyone can act confident when receiving praise. But who are you when nobody sees you? That is where greatness is created. The person you become in private eventually becomes visible in public. Your habits create your identity. Your choices create your future. Your discipline creates your confidence. Respect is not built overnight. It is built through thousands of small decisions. Every time you choose patience instead of anger. Every time you choose discipline instead of comfort. Every time you choose growth instead of excuses. You become someone stronger. And stronger people naturally command respect. The final lesson. Become the person who does not need to demand respect. The highest level of confidence is not saying, "Respect me." It is becoming someone whose actions make disrespect impossible to ignore. You do not need to prove your worth to everyone. You do not need to chase people who do not value you. You do not need to force your importance. Build yourself. Strengthen your mind. Control your emotions. Master your actions. And let your character speak. Because the person with true inner power does not need a loud voice. Their presence is enough. Never reach. It is not about being feared. It is not about making people intimidated by you. It is not about proving you are better than everyone else. It is about becoming so grounded within yourself that your confidence does not depend on the reaction of others. This is the true Stoic path. The 12th lesson. Never let your emotions make decisions for you. Your emotions are powerful, but they are not always wise. Anger wants you to react quickly. Fear wants you to run away. Pride wants you to prove yourself. But wisdom asks a different question. What response will create the best outcome? A person who reacts instantly gives their power away. A person who thinks before acting keeps their power. Imagine someone sends you a message designed to upset you. Your first instinct is to reply immediately. You want to defend yourself. You want them to know they were wrong. But you wait. You think. You return when your mind is clear. That small moment of control changes everything. Because you are no longer being controlled by the situation. You are controlling yourself. The Stoics believe that between an event and your reaction, there is a space. In that space is your freedom. That space is where strength is built. The 13th lesson. Do not chase people who do not recognize your value. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to convince someone to appreciate them. They keep explaining. They keep proving. They keep giving more. But respect cannot be forced. A person who truly values you will recognize your effort. A person who does not may continue taking without appreciating. The Stoic approach is simple. Give your best. Act with integrity. But never lose yourself trying to earn what should be mutual. There was once a man who kept helping a friend who never showed gratitude. Every time the friend needed something, he was there. But when he needed support, the friend disappeared. One day, he finally understood something. His kindness was valuable, but his energy was limited. He did not become cold. He simply learned balance. A wise person does not close their heart. They protect it. The 14th lesson. Develop the confidence to walk alone. Many people fear being alone because they depend on others for validation. They need people to approve their choices. They need people to confirm their worth. But a strong mind learns to stand even when nobody is cheering. Great transformations often happen in silence. The athlete trains when nobody is watching. The student studies when nobody is praising them. The builder works before anyone sees the result. The person who learns to walk alone develops something rare. Self-respect. And they do not need different personalities for different rooms. Their principles remain the same. This creates trust. And trust creates respect. People respect those who are consistent. Because consistency shows that your character is real. The 18th lesson. Focus on becoming better, not looking better. The world rewards appearance quickly. But time reveals reality. Someone can create an image of confidence. Someone can pretend to be successful. Someone can create a false impression. But eventually, reality speaks. The Stoic focuses on the inside. A stronger mind. A calmer attitude. A disciplined lifestyle. A wiser perspective. Because when the foundation is strong, the outside naturally improves. The person obsessed with looking powerful often lacks power. The person focused on becoming powerful does not need to announce it. Their life shows it. The 19th lesson. Remember that respect starts with self-respect. If you constantly betray your own values, people notice. If you accept everything from everyone, people notice. If you never stand up for yourself, people notice. Self-respect is not arrogance. It is knowing that your time, energy, and life have value. A person with self-respect does not need to insult others. They do not need to prove superiority. They simply live according to their principles. That quiet confidence is powerful. The 20th lesson. Become someone you would respect. Ask yourself. Would you respect someone who always complains? Would you respect someone who gives up easily? Would you respect someone who cannot control their emotions? Probably not. So become the opposite. Become disciplined. Become patient. Become reliable. Become someone whose actions match their words. Because the highest form of respect is not receiving respect from others. It is looking at yourself and knowing, I am becoming the person I was meant to be. That is the foundation of Stoic strength. Thank you for watching Stoic Ascension. There is one final truth about respect that the Stoics understood. The world respects the person who has mastered themselves. Not the person who controls others. Not the person who tries to appear powerful. Not the person who demands attention. But the person who has control over their own mind. Because when you master yourself, you become difficult to shake. People can challenge you. People can doubt you. People can criticize you. But they cannot easily destroy your peace. And that kind of inner stability creates a presence that people notice. The 21st lesson. Do not reveal every emotion. This does not mean becoming emotionless. It means becoming emotionally intelligent. A person who shows every feeling to everyone gives others control over their state of mind. If everyone knows exactly what makes you angry, exactly what makes you insecure, exactly what makes you lose control, they know how to influence you. But a Stoic person learns emotional discipline. They feel deeply. They care deeply. But they choose when and how to respond. There is power in being calm when others expect chaos. There is power in remaining focused when others are distracted. There is power in staying respectful when others become disrespectful. Your calmness becomes your message. The 22nd lesson. Do not compete for attention. Many people think respect comes from being noticed. But attention and respect are not the same thing. A person can get attention through noise. A person can get attention through controversy. A person can get attention through showing off. But respect is earned differently. Respect comes from reliability. Respect comes from discipline. Respect comes from how you handle yourself when life becomes difficult. A person chasing attention asks, how can I make people see me? A person building character asks, how can I improve myself? The second person eventually becomes impossible to ignore. The 23rd lesson. Stay humble while becoming powerful. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is understanding that there is always more to learn. A truly confident person does not need to remind everyone of their achievements. They let their actions speak. Think about a great warrior. The strongest warrior is not the one who constantly talks about winning. It is the one who trains quietly. The one who prepares. The one who respects the process. Power without humility creates arrogance. Power with humility creates greatness. The 24th lesson. Master your environment. Your surroundings influence your mindset. The people around you influence your standards. The conversations you listen to influence your thoughts. The habits around you influence your actions. If you spend your life around people who constantly complain, you may slowly become the same. If you surround yourself with people who seek growth, you naturally rise. A Stoic understands that protecting your mind is part of protecting your future. Choose environments that strengthen you. Choose conversations that improve you. Choose habits that move you forward. The 25th lesson. Do not seek revenge. Seek growth. Many people waste their energy trying to prove someone wrong. They want people who hurt them to regret their actions. But the Stoic path is different. The greatest response is not revenge. The greatest response is becoming better. Someone underestimated you. Improve yourself. Someone doubted you. Build yourself. Someone walked away. Continue your journey. Your success should not come from hatred. It should come from purpose. Because when you become stronger, you no longer need to look back. The 26th lesson. Understand that your reputation is built in difficult moments. Anyone can be confident when life is easy. Anyone can be patient when everything goes their way. But challenges reveal character. When problems appear, who do you become? Do you panic? Do you blame? Do you lose control? Or do you stay focused? The difficult moments of life are not only tests. They are opportunities to show who you really are. A calm person during chaos becomes valuable. A disciplined person during uncertainty becomes respected. A wise person during conflict becomes trusted. The 27th lesson. Become a person of principles. Without principles, people change based on convenience. They do what benefits them today. They abandon their values when things become uncomfortable. But a person with principles has a foundation. They know what they believe. They know what they will accept. They know what they will never become. This creates strength. Because when you have principles, you are no longer controlled by every situation. You move with purpose. The 28th lesson. Remember that your energy introduces you before your words do. People feel your mindset. They feel your confidence. They feel your insecurity. Before you speak, your presence communicates. That is why inner work matters. You cannot fake discipline forever. You cannot fake confidence forever. Eventually, who you are inside becomes visible outside. So build from the inside. Strengthen your mind. Develop your character. Improve your habits. Because your greatest introduction is the person you have become. The 29th lesson. Be patient with your transformation. Respect is not built in a day. A strong mind is not created overnight. A powerful character is built through repetition. Every day you choose discipline, you grow. Every day you choose patience, you grow. Every day you choose wisdom over reaction, you grow. Small improvements create massive changes over time. Do not compare your journey to someone else's. Focus on becoming better than who you were yesterday. The 30th lesson. Let your life become your message. The highest level of respect is when you no longer need to explain yourself. Your discipline explains you. Your character explains you. Your consistency explains you. Your results explain you. You become proof of your own philosophy. That is what Stoicism teaches. Not just reading wisdom. Living it. Not just talking about strength. Becoming strong. Not just wanting respect. Becoming respectable. The journey to true respect is not about becoming someone everyone fears. It is about becoming someone who cannot be easily broken. Because the world does not truly respect the person who looks powerful. The world respects the person who remains powerful when life becomes difficult. The person who stays calm under pressure. The person who stays disciplined when motivation disappears. The person who keeps their values when everyone else changes. This is the final level of Stoic strength. Mastering yourself. The 31st lesson. Stop looking for permission to become great. Many people are waiting. They are waiting for someone to believe in them. Waiting for someone to recognize them. Waiting for the perfect moment. But the Stoic understands something important. Your growth is your responsibility. Nobody is coming to build your discipline for you. Nobody is coming to create your mindset for you. Nobody is coming to give you confidence. You build these things through your own choices. A person who waits for permission gives power to the world. A person who takes responsibility takes power back. Every morning you wake up, you have another chance to become stronger. Another chance to improve. Another chance to choose wisdom over weakness. The 32nd lesson. Learn to be comfortable with being misunderstood. One of the hardest parts of personal growth is realizing that not everyone will understand your journey. When you become more disciplined, some people may say you changed. When you become more focused, some people may say you are distant. When you stop reacting to drama, some people may say you are different. And they are right. You are different. Growth changes you. The old version of you may have searched for approval. The new version of you searches for purpose. The Stoic does not waste energy trying to explain every transformation. They allow time to reveal the truth. The 33rd lesson. Do not let success change your character. A person's true nature is revealed not only in failure, but also in success. Some people become arrogant when they gain power. They forget where they started. They forget the people who helped them. They forget the lessons that built them. But a Stoic remains grounded. They understand that everything external is temporary. Money can disappear. Status can disappear. Recognition can disappear. But character stays. The strongest person is not the person who rises and looks down on others. It is the person who rises and still remains humble. The 34th lesson. Build patience. In a world where everyone wants instant results, patience becomes a rare strength. People want success immediately. They want change immediately. They want respect immediately. But greatness is built slowly. A tree does not become strong in one day. A person does not become wise in one lesson. A powerful mind is created through years of practice. The Stoic understands that every day is a brick. Every decision builds the person you become. Be patient with the process. But stay committed to it. The 35th lesson. Do not let comfort destroy your potential. Comfort feels good. But too much comfort creates weakness. A person who always chooses the easy path becomes unprepared for difficult moments. The Stoics trained themselves through discipline. They understood that challenges create strength. The person who exercises when they do not feel like it builds discipline. The person who studies when they do not feel motivated builds intelligence. The person who controls their emotions when they feel anger builds wisdom. Growth happens when you choose what is right over what is easy. The 36th lesson. Respect is created through reliability. People trust the person who keeps their word. The person who shows up. The person who can be counted on. You do not build respect by making big promises. You build respect by keeping small commitments consistently. If you say you will do something, do it. If you take responsibility, complete it. Your word should have value. Because when your words mean something, people recognize your character. The 37th lesson. Become your own source of motivation. Motivation disappears. Feelings change. Energy rises and falls. But discipline remains. A strong person does not ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" They ask, "Is this who I want to become?" That question changes everything. Because your future is created by the choices you make when you do not feel like making them. The 38th lesson. Choose wisdom over ego. Ego wants to win every argument. Wisdom wants the best outcome. Ego wants to prove you are right. Wisdom wants you to grow. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say is, "I was wrong." Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is apologize. Sometimes the strongest move is walking away. Because strength is not always fighting. Sometimes strength is knowing when not to fight. The 39th lesson. Create a life you respect. At the end of the day, your biggest judgment comes from yourself. Can you look in the mirror and respect the person you are becoming? Are you keeping your promises? Are you improving? Are you living according to your values? Because external respect means little if you have no respect for yourself. Build a life that gives you inner peace. Build a mind that gives you confidence. Build habits that make you proud. The 40th lesson. Your silence, discipline, and character are your greatest introduction. You do not need to announce your growth. You do not need to tell everyone you are changing. You do not need to convince people that you are valuable. The person you become will speak for you. Your calmness will speak. Your actions will speak. Your consistency will speak. Your results will speak. That is how true respect is created. Not through demands. Not through fear. Not through pretending. Through becoming. Thank you for watching Stoic Ascension. If this message inspired you, share your thoughts in the comments. What is one thing you will do today to strengthen your mind? Share this message with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more powerful stoicism, discipline, and personal growth. Remember, you do not need to chase respect when you become the type of person respect naturally follows. The moment you stop letting people control your emotions, is the moment you become impossible to control. They can criticize you. They can ignore you. They can try to make you feel guilty. They can push your buttons and test your patience. But if you master your mind, they lose their power over you. Welcome to Stoic Ascension, where we explore the ancient wisdom of Stoicism and learn how to build a stronger, calmer, and more disciplined life. Before we begin, share your thoughts in the comments. What is one way someone has tried to manipulate you in life? And if you want more powerful lessons on Stoicism, subscribe to Stoic Ascension. Now let's begin. Imagine this. A man named Marcus walks into work one morning. He has prepared for an important presentation for weeks. He knows his information, he is confident, and he is ready. But before the meeting starts, his coworker says, "You probably won't impress anyone." The manager already has someone else in mind. Those words hit Marcus instantly. For the rest of the morning, he feels nervous. He starts doubting himself. He loses focus. But then he realizes something important. His coworker did not control his presentation. His coworker only controlled a few words. Marcus gave those words the power. This is the first lesson of Stoicism. People cannot control your mind unless you surrender control to them. The Stoics understood something thousands of years ago that many people still struggle with today. You do not control what people say. You do not control what people think. You do not control how people act. But you always have power over your response. And your response determines your freedom. Many people live like prisoners of other people's opinions. Someone compliments them, and they feel valuable. Someone criticizes them, and they feel worthless. Someone ignores them, and they feel rejected. Their entire emotional state is controlled by outside forces. But a Stoic builds a different foundation. A Stoic says, "My peace does not depend on your behavior." That is where true strength begins. The first way people manipulate you is through your emotions. Manipulation often starts by making you feel something intense. Anger. Fear. Guilt. Shame. A person who can control your emotions can often control your actions. Think about an argument. Someone says something disrespectful to you. Your first instinct is to react. You raise your voice. You defend yourself. You try to prove them wrong. But the person who stays calm has the advantage. Why? Because they are thinking while the other person is reacting. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the mind has power over impressions. An event happens. Then your mind creates meaning. Then your emotions follow. The event itself does not destroy your peace. Your interpretation does. A person insults you. The insult is outside your control. But whether you carry that insult for 5 minutes or 5 years is your decision. Imagine someone throws a stone at you. You can pick it up and carry it everywhere. Or you can leave it on the ground. Many people carry emotional stones every day. They carry old insults. Old betrayals. Old opinions. Old moments where someone made them feel small. Stoicism teaches: put down what was never yours to carry. The second way people manipulate you is by making you seek their approval. One of the strongest forms of control is making someone believe they need your acceptance. Many people change themselves just to be accepted. They hide their opinions. They ignore their values. They say yes when they want to say no. They become a version of themselves designed for other people. But the Stoics believed your character matters more than your reputation. Because reputation belongs to other people. Character belongs to you. A story from ancient times tells of a Stoic philosopher who was mocked by others because he lived simply and refused to chase luxury. People laughed at him. They said he was poor. They said he was missing out. But he remained calm. Why? Because he understood something. A person's opinion of him did not change who he was. A gold statue does not become less valuable because someone calls it a rock. Your worth does not disappear because someone fails to recognize it. Stop giving people the power to define you. The third way people manipulate you is through guilt. Some people use guilt to control your decisions. They make you feel bad for having boundaries. They make you feel selfish for protecting your peace. They make you feel responsible for emotions that belong to them. A Stoic understands the difference between kindness and surrender. Being a good person does not mean allowing everyone to control your life. You can care about people without becoming controlled by them. You can help others without destroying yourself. You can love people without losing yourself. Boundaries are not cruelty. Boundaries are wisdom. A person who truly respects you will respect your limits. A person who benefits from your lack of boundaries will try to make you feel guilty when you create them. That reaction reveals something important. The fourth way people manipulate you is by creating urgency. Have you ever noticed how pressure makes people make bad decisions? Someone tells you, decide right now. Do this or you will regret it. You have no choice. But a calm mind sees clearly. A Stoic does not allow someone else's panic to become their panic. Before responding, pause and ask. Is this my decision, or am I being pushed into it? The person who controls the speed of your reaction often controls the outcome. Your power is in the space between what happens and how you respond. That small space is where wisdom lives. That small space between what happens and how you respond is where your power lives. Most people lose control because they react too quickly. Someone says something disrespectful, and they immediately fight back. Someone ignores them, and they immediately chase. Someone tries to provoke them, and they immediately prove they can be controlled. But the Stoic mind works differently. A Stoic does not ask, why are they doing this to me? A Stoic asks, what is the wisest response? Because every reaction is a choice. And every choice reveals who you are becoming. The fifth way people manipulate you is by testing your need to prove yourself. Many people waste years trying to prove their value to people who already decided not to see it. They explain themselves. They argue. They defend every decision. They try to convince everyone that they are worthy. But the Stoics understood. A person who knows themselves does not need constant approval from the outside world. Imagine a mountain. A storm comes. Rain falls. Winds attack. But the mountain does not chase the storm and say, please stop. Please understand me. The mountain remains. Strong. Still. Unmoved. Your confidence should be like that. Not arrogance. Not believing you are better than others. But knowing your value does not disappear because someone misunderstands you. Sometimes the strongest response is silence. Not because you have nothing to say. But because you understand not every battle deserves your energy. The sixth way people manipulate you is by bringing chaos into your life. Some people live in constant drama. Every day there is a new problem. A new conflict. A new crisis. And if you are not careful, their chaos becomes your lifestyle. A Stoic protects their inner world. They understand that peace is something you must guard. Imagine someone walking into your house and throwing garbage on the floor. You would not thank them. You would remove it. Your mind is also a home. Be careful what you allow inside. Every conversation. Every opinion. Every influence. Ask yourself. Does this make me stronger, or does this disturb my peace? Not everything deserves access to you. The seventh way people manipulate you is by using your past against you. Some people will remind you of your mistakes to keep you trapped. They want you to believe you are still the person you used to be. But Stoicism teaches growth. A mistake is an event. It is not your identity. A person who learns from the past becomes wiser. A person who lives inside the past becomes controlled by it. Think about a soldier returning from battle. The scars on his body do not mean he lost. They show he survived. Your past experiences can become lessons instead of chains. Do not allow someone to use your old chapters to control your future story. The eighth way people manipulate you is by making you afraid of losing them. Fear of loss causes people to abandon themselves. They accept disrespect because they fear being alone. They tolerate bad treatment because they fear starting over. But a Stoic remembers. Anything outside your control is temporary. People can leave. Situations can change. Opportunities can disappear. But your character travels with you everywhere. The goal is not to become someone who needs nobody. The goal is to become someone who does not lose themselves trying to keep someone. Real strength is being able to say, I value you, but I will not destroy my peace for you. The ninth way people manipulate you is by making you question reality. Sometimes people try to make you doubt what you know. They twist situations. They deny their actions. They make you feel confused. A Stoic responds with awareness. Do not allow emotional pressure to replace clear thinking. Observe. Think. Look at patterns. A single moment can be misunderstood. But repeated behavior reveals truth. The Stoic does not judge based on emotion alone. The Stoic watches. The Stoic learns. The Stoic decides. The 10th way people manipulate you is by attacking your patience. They know if they can make you angry, they can make you careless. Anger feels powerful. But uncontrolled anger is weakness. Anyone can explode. Anyone can lose control. The rare person is the one who remains calm when tested. Imagine someone trying to start a fire. They bring the matches. They bring the fuel. But you refuse to provide the flame. That is emotional mastery. Your calmness becomes your protection. Remember this. People can influence you. But they do not have to control you. They can speak. But you decide what enters your mind. They can act. But you decide your response. They can challenge you. But you decide whether you break or become stronger. The Stoic path is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming disciplined. It is about understanding that your peace is valuable. Your attention is valuable. Your energy is valuable. Stop handing them to people who have not earned them. But protecting your mind does not mean becoming emotionless. A common misunderstanding about Stoicism is that it teaches you to feel nothing. That is not true. Stoicism teaches you to feel deeply, but not to become a prisoner of every feeling. A powerful person is not someone who never feels anger. A powerful person is someone who can feel anger and still choose wisdom. A powerful person is not someone who never feels fear. A powerful person is someone who feels fear and still moves forward. Your emotions are signals. They are not your masters. The 11th way people manipulate you is by making you react to their version of the story. Have you ever noticed that the loudest person in a situation is not always the person who is right? Sometimes people create a story where they are the victim and you are the enemy. They want you to defend yourself. They want you to enter their battlefield. But a Stoic understands something. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. There was a time when a wise man was insulted publicly. People around him expected him to fight back. They expected anger. They expected revenge. But he simply continued walking. Someone asked him, "Why did you not respond?" He answered with the idea that an insult only becomes yours when you accept it. The lesson is simple. Not every attack deserves a response. Some things are beneath your attention. The 12th way people manipulate you is by making you forget your own goals. Manipulative people often distract you. They pull your attention away from your purpose. One day you are focused on building your future. Then suddenly you are spending all your energy fighting unnecessary battles. You are explaining yourself. You are chasing approval. You are trying to prove people wrong. But a Stoic asks, is this helping me become better? Your life is built from your attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Do not let someone else's drama become the main character in your story. Imagine two people walking through a forest. One person keeps looking behind them. They worry about who laughed at them, who doubted them, who criticized them. The other person keeps looking forward. They notice the path. They notice opportunities. They keep moving. Years later, the second person has traveled far. The first person is still standing in the same place, fighting battles that already ended. The past cannot be changed. But your direction can. The 13th way people manipulate you is by making you chase what they withhold. Some people give attention, then remove it. They give kindness, then become distant. They create a cycle where you constantly try to earn what should be freely given. A Stoic recognizes this pattern. Peace does not come from chasing. Peace comes from knowing your value. The person who constantly needs to be chosen forgets that they can choose themselves. Do not beg for respect. Do not beg for honesty. Do not beg for basic consideration. Your standards teach people how to treat you. The 14th way people manipulate you is by making you doubt your decisions. Sometimes you make a choice. You think carefully. You consider the consequences. But then someone questions you, and suddenly you abandon your own judgment. A Stoic listens. A Stoic learns. But a Stoic does not surrender their mind. Advice is valuable. Control is not. There is a difference between someone guiding you and someone trying to own your choices. Wisdom listens. Weakness follows blindly. The 15th way people manipulate you is by attacking your confidence. Some people feel uncomfortable when they see someone growing. Your improvement reminds them of their own lack of action. So they try to reduce you. They say, "You have changed. You think you are better now. Who do you think you are?" But growth will always look strange to people who are comfortable staying the same. A tree does not apologize for growing taller. A river does not apologize for moving forward. You do not need permission to become better. The Stoic path is a path of self-mastery. Because the greatest victory is not defeating another person. The greatest victory is defeating the part of yourself that can be easily controlled. The part that needs everyone to like you. The part that reacts instantly. The part that fears rejection. The part that gives away your power. Master that part of yourself, and your life changes. Because when you control yourself, the world loses the ability to control you. The world will always contain people who test you. People who challenge your patience. People who try to pull you into unnecessary conflict. But remember this. A person who controls their own mind is stronger than a person who controls others. Because controlling others requires their cooperation. But controlling yourself requires discipline. And discipline is something nobody can take away from you. The 16th way people manipulate you is by making you feel responsible for their happiness. Many people spend their lives carrying emotional weight that does not belong to them. They think, if they are upset, I must fix it. If they are disappointed, I failed. If they are unhappy, it must be my fault. But Stoicism teaches responsibility, not emotional slavery. You are responsible for your actions. You are responsible for your character. You are responsible for how you treat people. But you are not responsible for controlling every emotion another person experiences. Imagine holding an umbrella for someone in the rain. Helping them is kindness. But carrying them everywhere so they never feel the rain is not your responsibility. People must walk their own path. The 17th way people manipulate you is through comparison. They make you look at someone else's life and question your own. They say, look how successful they are. Look what they have. Why aren't you like them? But a Stoic understands. Comparison steals focus from your own journey. A person running their own race does not stop every few seconds to compare their speed with someone else. They focus on the path ahead. Your mission is not to become someone else. Your mission is to become the strongest version of yourself. The 18th way people manipulate you is by using your kindness against you. Kindness is a strength. But without wisdom, kindness can become a weakness. Some people see a generous person and think, how can I benefit from this? They mistake patience for permission. They mistake forgiveness for acceptance. They mistake kindness for weakness. A Stoic heart can be kind while still having boundaries. You can forgive someone and still walk away. You can wish someone well and still protect yourself. You can understand someone's struggles without allowing them to destroy your peace. The 19th way people manipulate you is by keeping you emotionally attached to their approval. Some people become addicted to being accepted. They check how others react. They change their personality depending on who is watching. They become actors in their own lives. But a Stoic asks, am I living according to my values, or according to people's expectations? The ancient Stoics believed the greatest freedom comes when you stop being controlled by external things. Money can disappear. Status can disappear. Popularity can disappear. But your principles remain. Build a life that does not collapse when applause disappears. The 20th way people manipulate you is by making you forget the power of silence. Silence is often misunderstood. Some people think silence means weakness. But sometimes silence is the highest form of control. When someone tries to provoke you and you remain calm, you are showing mastery. When someone expects an emotional reaction and receives wisdom instead, you have changed the entire situation. Silence gives you time to think. Silence protects your energy. Silence prevents you from saying things you will regret. A person who cannot control their words often cannot control their life. Think about a chess player. A beginner moves because they are excited. They see one opportunity and immediately act. But a master thinks several moves ahead. Life is the same. An emotional person reacts to the moment. A Stoic considers the consequences. Before you speak, think. Before you act, think. Before you allow someone to affect your peace, think. Ask. Will this matter tomorrow? Will this make me stronger? Is this worthy of my energy? These questions protect your mind. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be people who judge you. There will always be people who try to pull you away from your purpose. But you do not have to fight every person. You do not have to explain every decision. You do not have to prove your worth to everyone. A lion does not stop walking because a dog is barking. The lion knows who it is. Your confidence comes from knowing yourself. Your peace comes from mastering yourself. Your freedom comes from no longer allowing others to control your emotions. The final lesson is this. The strongest person is not the person who can control everyone around them. The strongest person is the one who has complete control over themselves. Control your thoughts. Control your reactions. Control your attention. Control your choices. Because when your mind belongs to you, nobody can manipulate you. If this message gave you a new perspective, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me, what is one thing you will stop allowing others to control in your life? And subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more powerful lessons on stoicism, discipline, confidence, and building an unshakable mind. Remember, protect your peace. Master your emotions. And never give someone else the power to control your mind.